What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today's video, we're going to talk about another Fibonacci tool, the Fibonacci Fans. This red tool right here. We're going to break down what Fibonacci Fans are and how to use them. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Join the Trading Learning 101 community where we all grow as traders and investors. And if you're interested in more Fibonacci videos, I've created a Fibonacci playlist on the Trading Learning 101 YouTube channel. It currently has 3 videos in it right now. I will be adding more in the future. If you're a fan of Fibonacci and Fibonacci tools, I highly recommend checking this playlist out. I will leave a link in the description down below. I'm excited to get into this video. Fibonacci Fans is probably one of my favorite Fibonacci tools to use as a day trader. So without further delay, let's jump into the video, everybody. Alright, once again, we're going to bring up Investopedia to look up Fibonacci Fans so we can get a true definition of what Fibonacci Fans are all about. If you don't know about Investopedia, like I've said in many of my other videos, Investopedia is like the dictionary for the stock market. It is a must-have if you want to look up terms, trading strategies, definitions. Investopedia has everything. What is a Fibonacci fan? A Fibonacci fan is a charting technique that uses Fibonacci ratios to predict support and resistance levels. Breaking down Fibonacci fan. Fibonacci fans are a set of trend lines drawn through a high or a low to a high through a set of points dictated by Fibonacci retracements. To create them, a trader draws a trend line off which to base the fan, usually covering the low and high prices of a security over a given period of time. To reach retracement levels, the trader divides the difference in price at the low and high end by ratios determined by the Fibonacci series, typically 23.6%, 38.2%, 50%, the golden ratio 61.8%. These lines formed by connecting the starting point from the base trend line and each retracement level created the Fibonacci fan. And here they have a picture drawing the low right here up to the high with the projected Fibonacci lines, and you could see the stock bouncing off of those Fibonacci levels. We're going to go over a lot of charts to show you examples of the Fibonacci fan. I'm going to show you guys the correct way how to use the Fibonacci fan, and I'm going to show you a way that I like to use Fibonacci fan. So there are 2 ways you can use Fibonacci fan. Traders can use the lines of the Fibonacci fan to predict key points of resistance or support at which they might expect price trends to reverse. Once a trader identifies patterns within a chart, they can use those patterns to predict future price movements and future levels of support and resistance. Traders use the predictions to time their trades. If you're interested in the rest of this blog post here on Investopedia of Fibonacci Fans, I will leave a link to this in the description of this video. So let's check out Fibonacci Fans. We are looking at the ETF SPY on the 10-minute time frame. Just to point out real quickly, when doing technical analysis, the bigger the time frame and the stars align, the bigger the move could potentially be. So I have one example of the Fibonacci fan drawn out here on the SPY. I'll delete this so I can draw it again, but we're going to get our Fibonacci tool out, Fibonacci fan, and we're going to simply draw from the high up here at 263 all the way down to the low right here at 244. Once we draw from our swing high down to our swing low right there, each of these lines right here is the Fibonacci projection of where the stock could potentially bounce and hold as support and resistance. we have our first line right here, which is the 23.6 retracement. And if we draw a line down, you can see the stock bounced off of that 0 line all the way up to that 23.6% line right there. Bounced off of it, came all the way back down to the 0 line right here, and then surged all the way up, even right through the 38.2 projection line, and bounced right there at the 50% retracement, and has been bouncing back and forth between the 38.2 and the 50% retracement, looking to crack its way on up to the 61.8% retracement right there. Let's take a look at another example. This time we're going to look at a 10-minute time frame on ticker symbol OXY. We're going to get our Fibonacci fan tool, and we're going to draw our Fibonacci fan from the high up here at 1520 all the way down to the low at 1020 here. Once we do that, you could see it. We put our low right there, and then the stock surged all the way up and found resistance right at this 38.2 retracement there. Got over it, held as support right there, moved its way on up to the 50% retracement with a gap up, and then moved its way on up right here, the golden ratio, 61.8%, and rode that as resistance all the way down. You could see it had a real quick surge up through it right there, continued riding it down, and then finally got above it and was riding it as support, and then it got a big gap up right here, and you could see at the 76.4% was holding as resistance right there. And also a cool little thing to see right here, if we zoom in, when this stock ran up through this at $11.75 all the way up to almost $14, when it came all the way back down, look at this long wick right here, pin pricking right at that 76.4% retracement, getting a nice rebound rip up. Now I'm going to show you a couple examples of how I like to use Fibonacci fans. This is a strategy that I've totally came up with on my own and I like using, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. What you simply do is, if you notice a stock is in a downtrend, all you simply do is get your Fibonacci fan out and connect all the lower highs as the stock is trending down, and you wait for it to violate the first line, the 0 line I call it, right there. Wait for the stock to violate it, push up through it, and then that's when the stock could be reversing from a downtrend to an uptrend for a quick scalp opportunity if you're a day trader. And with this example, we're looking at RAD on a 1-minute time frame. We connected all the lower highs as it made its way down from 1250 all the way down to 1125. We connected the lower highs, stock came up, crossed right through that 0 line, and this surged all the way up to that 100% line where we drew it from. That could have been a nice little play right there. And then once the stock starts to retrace and pull back, what's really cool about this is right here, the golden ratio, 61.8. The stock bounced off of it right there and right there for another couple scalping opportunities to trade off of $11.75 and selling at $12.25 for a nice little 50-cent scalp opportunity. And then I have another example right here. This is a 1-minute time frame. Again, if the stock is trending down, simply just draw a line from the top, connecting all of the lower highs all the way down, and then once the stock starts to violate and push through that 0 line, you'd be looking for the stock to reverse to the upside for a potential quick scalping opportunity. This stock crossed over the 0 line, got above it, and when it pulled back right here, it held that 0 line as support and then pushed its way on up to the next line, the 23.6% retracement or projection. It's just a cool little strategy that I've came up with on my own with using Fibonacci fans. I use this a lot as a day trader. If a stock has a big morning run and it starts to retrace, I'll get my Fib fans out. I'll just simply connect the lower highs as it's trending down and wait for it. I could either trade it once the stock starts to push up through the zero line and sell for a nice little quick pop, or wait for the stock to push up through that zero line here like it did right here and wait for it to pull back and hold as support, giving more confidence that it's holding, get in, and then sell as it starts to pop up and move up through these retracement levels. Now, are these strategies going to work all the time? No. And that's with any strategy that's out there. If you're a swing trader, day trader, strategies are not going to work 100% of the time. That's why it's always good to have a bunch of strategies in your bag and just simply wait for the stock market to present those opportunities to you and take advantage of them. Let's take a look here at one more example. We'll do ticker symbol mRNA on the 3-minute time frame. With these Fibonacci tools and with any tools when doing technical analysis, you have to look at technical analysis as it's an art form. It's not a science. You don't need to make it complicated. Think of the KISS method. Keep it stupid simple. And there's going to be people that say, well, when drawing Fibonacci fans, which high to low do I swing from? You can swing from any high to low that you want. Experiment, mess around with it, draw from different areas, and if you see an area that the stock's confining to very well, go off of that. And this is what we're going to get into with this next example. We draw a Fibonacci fan from the high way up here all the way down to this low right here. We draw our line from there to there. It gives us our projection, and we could zoom in a little bit on this. And what I want to point out with this is the golden ratio, that 61.8 projection level. This line right here, look at it acting as resistance right there, and then it finally popped over right here, was holding as support right here, riding it all right in here, getting that nice little bounce up, coming right back down to it, and just bouncing off of it, riding all the way up to this next projection line at 76.4%, getting over that, then acting as support all right here, and just going all the way up, right up to that 100% line right there. And there's a few ways you can look at this. Now let's draw the Fib fans connecting the lower highs from this point right here, and we'll draw it down from there, connecting from here all the way through this with that zero line. And we'll zoom in on this. You see right here the stock right at $30.50. It violated and pushed through that zero line. The second Fibonacci line at 23.6%, running all the way up right at that golden ratio, 61.8%, and it was holding as resistance all right here. It pulls back, finds support right at that 23.6% retracement, pushes its way back on up, pushes right through that golden ratio, 61.8, runs all the way up to the 100% line, pulls back, forming a wedge right at the golden ratio, 61.8, and running right back up. So you see the multiple ways you could use Fibonacci fans to your advantage. It's all about being a scientist, experimenting, testing, refining, experimenting, and testing. That's what being a day trader, doing technical analysis is all about. And also learning from other multiple different traders in the stock market. Take away what you want from every single trader that you learn from and develop your own trading strategies. And don't be afraid to try different technical analysis techniques. There are multiple and many trading strategies out there and trading tools that you can use. Mess around, have fun with it, but I showed you guys 2 ways in this video that you could use Fibonacci fans. Now you see why the Fibonacci fan tool is one of my favorite tools to use as a day trader. There's multiple ways you can use it and plot it from many different areas on multiple different time frames as well. For me as a day trader, I like to look at 1 minute time frames, 3 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, and the daily chart. Look at the multiple different time frames to get a perspective of what the overall trend is. Do your technical analysis and go from there. Keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate things with indicators. You really just got to keep it simple. And that's what it's all about. If you have too many things going on and you're relying on way too many indicators, you're going to miss the big picture, and the trades, by the time you notice it, it's going to be too late. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to check out the Fibonacci playlist. I will leave a link down in the description below if you're interested. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Join the Trading Learning 101 community where we all grow as traders and investors. Until next time, everybody, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Later, everybody.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?